Go to now, ye that say, Today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor, that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, If the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. I want to take just a little bit of time today and talk about the brevity of life. God comes here in this passage and he tells us that our life, though it may seem as though there's some length to it, in the grand scheme of eternity, it is but a vapor. Here 1 minute and gone the next. Furthermore, the only opportunity that we have to impact any change on eternity lies within the bounds of that vapor. You and I, our time here is so short. Every moment our life is ticking away. And the time that we spend is something we cannot ever regain. I want to take just a moment today and talk to you about the idea of our life a vapor. May I say this morning, you and I are not guaranteed another moment. You say, oh, well, I think that I'll live until 60 or 70 or 80, and we can all have a number. The Lord will allow us to reach that number, but the reality of the matter is we're not guaranteed tomorrow. I could take you to many times in my life where I thought I had another moment with a loved one. And yet the last conversation I had with that loved one was the last conversation I had with them. I could take you to times where the last embrace that I shared with someone I loved was the last time I got to embrace them. My challenge to you this morning is this: our life is too short to waste. I want to challenge you today to not waste any time. Your life is short, and so while you're able, might I encourage you to love those in your life, both in word and in deed. There are some, the last time they spoke to their spouse or to their child or to their parent, it was an unkind word. May I tell you today, we don't have time for unkind words. I made a decision many years ago that the last thing my loved ones would hear me say are the words, I love you, before I leave the house every morning. The last thing I do before I kiss my kids, good night. The last words I say to my wife before rolling over in bed are, I love you. You say, why is that, Brother Hauser? Because if I don't wake up, if I don't come back, I want them to know that Daddy loves them. I want them to know that Zach loves them. Hey, may I tell you, our life is too short to spend it doing anything but not serving God. I remember as a young man, when I got right with God, realizing I'd wasted many years of my childhood, I determined, as Paul running to Christ after his conversion on the Damascus road, that I determined I didn't want to waste any more years serving myself or serving the devil. Might I encourage you today, your life is too short to not spend it doing God's will. Your life is too short to not spend it loving those that God has given to you. Might I encourage you today, our life is ticking away. Today may be your last day to tell a loved one how you feel. Today may be the last day that you have to serve God. Today may be the last day that you have to give the gospel to a family member or a friend. Might I encourage you today that we not waste the vapor that we call life. We love you, folks. We'll see you tonight at 7.